Well, Simon Reynolds, we're on the eve of the final. Your thoughts ahead of it?
Yeah, fantastic session. It's just what we want to get out of it. As you could see behind a couple more interviews that you've done, the lads really tuned in. Yeah, there was a couple of drop balls, but I think the nerves are just kicking in a little bit, and the lads are taking it serious. But some of them have never been in that situation before, so yeah, they're taking it quite serious, but a bit of nerves as well.
Speaking to Carter, he's saying it's the best way to round off like his junior rugby career.
Yeah, there's a few of them that have been here for quite a few years. Carter, I coached Carter starting at under 13s. He was a winger back then. Did a lot of work over a pre-season, and he did a lot of work on his passing off the floor and stuff like that. And before we knew it, he was playing 9, just to give our first choice 9 back then a bit of a break, and then towards the end of under 14s 15 season where we won the league, he was our first choice 9, and that's just testament to how hard he wants to work and reaped his rewards that year.
And just tell us about a couple of the other lads. For example, you know, Cole Bretherton's already represented first team, second team, hasn't he, at a tender age? Yeah,
Cole's a real good talent that we've got to keep hold of down at Leigh East. Our second team coach Ryan King believes in him a hell of a lot. He coached him under 16s last year, early doors, before Ryan then taking the second team job, and he's definitely one for the future for the club coming forward.
I know we've already spoken elsewhere about the run into the final, but just for anybody just tuning in, what was the run into this final on Sunday?
We were fortunate enough to get a bye in round 1, just because of the amount of teams. So we entered the comp at round 2 where we played Chorley down here at home. A fantastic game. The lads really dug in. They really set the stall out early and wanted to get themselves into a semi-final with a final in perspective of that. The scoreline was 66-0. From start to finish, Chorley were never in with a shout, but it was a job that needed doing. We then, in the semi-final, played Woolston down here. A fantastic game. The old cliche of a game of 2 halves, 10-0 down at half time. I spoke to the guys at half time and just give them a couple of key notes that if we start going forward before we play rugby, we can certainly score tries. And within the first 5 minutes of the second half, we scored 2 tries, kicked 2 goals with 12-10 in front, and that just set the stall out for the rest of the game, really. And we ended up winning 24-18 or 24-16, something like that. And you could see from the lads' faces that they really dug in that second half, and from the Woolston lads' faces, they were really devastated that they were entering the final.
And coming up against Portico at the weekend, I believe they've strengthened.
Yeah, I've heard of a couple of people that they've grabbed a couple of players from somewhere that have played at an higher level. I spoke to the lads early last week and told them that they're coming to play. They did give us a game 3 weeks ago now, and I think this is resting the players, telling the players that we're going for it this final. They give the game up last week against Woolston, which then gives us another indicator that they're really preparing for this final. They don't want any more distractions. So yeah, it's going to be a real tough game, I think.
And just what support will be vital from the club on the day? I'm thinking of like parents and supporters and people of Leigh getting out there.
Yeah, I've spoke to quite a few people, and our under 10s are playing at home, and they are coming straight from their game. Our under 14s are heading up to Orrell, playing up there, and they're coming straight from their game. Under 12s are at Inley, and they're coming straight over. So yeah, I think we've got the full support of the club. A few open age lads spoke to me earlier on and just said that yeah, they're going to come down and watch. So yeah, I think the club's buying into what we're doing, and it'll be good for the lads at the end of the day.
To be fair, that's what it's all about. That's exactly the ethos which should be promoted at amateur level, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the reason I took the 18s job on. It was going to be tough for the club with players coming through if I didn't. But all I wanted is lads back in Leigh East kits representing Leigh East at under 18s level. I've said in previous interviews there would have been lads lost to the game if they weren't playing 18s rugby. We've brought in a couple more from other clubs that wanted to play 18s rugby, and we're here entering a final with 27-man squad and struggling to leave people out.
That speaks testament, doesn't it? 27 men.
Yeah, 27 men. When we started back in December, we did a couple of sessions with the open age and we had 3 and 4 lads turning up. and then we entered the National Cup. We had a burst 17, and I had to dig deep to get 17 that day. And then 3 months later, we had 24, 25, 26, and 27 that we've got now. And some real quality as well in there, not just 27 lads. There's some real good quality players in there as well.
What would this cup final mean for, first of all, Leigh East as a club?
As an amateur club, it's fantastic. It's always nice to bring a bit of silverware. Over the past few years, no disrespect to our teams, but we've not quite got there. I'm certainly prepared for winning the trophy this weekend, and it'll be a complete fail in my estimations if we don't come back with a trophy on Sunday.
And what would it mean to yourself if you lift this trophy up from a personal point of view?
Yeah, it'll be up there with one of the best. I've coached in a couple of grand finals with the ladies team that we had. That was mainly because Claire was involved in the ladies team back then, and it was just kind of nobody else would do it, so I'd do it. We had a decent side, but this is a side that I've built up from nothing really, and I've dug deep and I've got into lads' ears. Some lads needed you to put your arm round and talk them back into coming down. Some lads just yell, I just want to get involved. We've lost a couple, we've gained a couple more, so yeah, it's really good on my part to be involved in such a real good final.
Simon, all the best for Sunday.
Thank you, Dave.